Open Kutch time. The day is January 19th, 2026, and the Detroit Pistons just beat the Boston Celtics 104-103, moved to 31-10 on the NBA season. The Pistons win a potential Eastern Conference Finals preview that went down to the last possession where Jaylen Brown missed what would have been a game-winning shot. The Pistons won due to an elite defensive showing out. They had 9 blocks and 9 steals and held the Boston Celtics to under 40% shooting. That is usually a very efficient shooting team, especially from the three, and even they shot well below their season average tonight. There were so much things to like for this Pistons win. Tobias Harris, it's not his season high, but it kind of felt like it. Just the weight of the shots, if there can be worth more points, this would have been probably his best scoring night. 25 points doesn't really do much other stat wise than that. Does have 3 threes, but just he was so big. There was this moment in the fourth quarter or the end of the third quarter where Cade comes out and this Karis Vardanic, which usually leads to not great offensive possessions, leads to wasting the shot clock, kind of struggling up. Tobias Harris took control of that post game, backed down, and kept shooting those midi fades, and they were going in almost every time tonight. I mean, this is a Tobias Harris we rarely see nowadays, and when we do, it's a pleasant surprise. I mean, it was just such a huge game from him, and this is a guy who's been in trade talk, but he's so fundamental for this team. He's so huge in the locker room. He's so huge just on offensive spacing. The knowledge he brings to the game is someone that no one else on this Pistons roster has. He's seen it all. He's been in contending teams. He's been in tanking teams. He's kind of been around. He's been in the league. He's the unk of the guys. He's the leader. That's not obviously the superstar in Cade, but locker room wise, he's the veteran of the team. And tonight, when he has 25 points and led the team in points against the Boston Celtics, it just shows his importance. Even when he's not on the court and not playing the offensive role, just those games he can bring so much to the Pistons, and it's needed, especially on a night like tonight. Jalen Duren, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 3 of them offensive rebounds. In that lob game, in that pick and roll action, something that the Boston Celtics struggle to defend because their centers are Nemes Queta and Luka Garza. Even Xavier Tillman had it coming for a little bit. MSU dog. But besides the point, Cade had 16 points, 14 assists. All around good game, but shooting wise was abysmal. And it's definitely the wrist injury. He's definitely still dealing with that. And he also picked up a hip injury. He went to the locker room for a second in the fourth quarter, comes back, and like basically every time he's on the bench, he's icing that heavily, just trying to get some like more feeling, more movement out of that side. So I wouldn't be surprised if Cade actually misses the next game. With that, or maybe the next couple. But just a very good, knowing his shots really not falling, but his free throws were, so he's still aggressive driving, but just maybe not taking as many jumpers as he would on a normal night. Duncan Robinson, 15 points, 5 3-pointers. I think he went 5 for 11. Elite shooter in this league, one of the best shooters in this league, and he shows it tonight. And this is a night where it's like him versus Sam Hauser a lot of the time from that 3-point. And Sam Hauser did have a lot of buckets, but going from first to fourth quarter, Duncan Robinson probably beat him out because Sam Hauser had like probably 1-2 stretches of a couple makes. Duncan Robinson was there all night. Always a risk, always a factor that Sam Hauser couldn't bring. Asar Thompson, tonight's one of those nights that Asar really shows how important he is. Even if he's not this super impressive offensive player, he's not that like the average fan or the stat watcher isn't going to see it, isn't going to see the impact he has. 7 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals, 3 of them being in the first quarter. I mean, the first quarter, the Pistons sucked. There's no way about it. The Pistons could not buy a bucket. The only thing that was keeping them in was their defense, and Asar was leading that. He had the 3 steals in about the first 5 minutes. And he was such a huge reason because the really the only points that the Pistons were able to generate in that first part of the first quarter was on fast breaks, and almost the whole night. The fast break was so important to the Pistons offense. It was the one thing they could consistently get going, because there was many stretches in this game where the Pistons in the half court offense could not buy a bucket. It was only in the full court offense, which has happened a lot during the season. Um, but Asar is the defensive leader. He is the guy who's going to guard whoever he has to. He was on Peyton Pritchard, and Peyton Pritchard does finish with 17, but a lot of that was when Asar was on the bench, and the Pistons had to have like Ron Holland on him, or Karis LeVert, or someone just not nearly as good of a defender as him. And Asar is so active everywhere. He can guard really 1 through 5. He's maybe not 5. He can guard 1 through 4 easily. 5 maybe some more trouble. But he's just such a defensive dog that he is the reason, and one of the biggest reasons the Pistons defense is ranked the second best defense in the league, only second to the Thunder. But it's getting closer and closer game by game as the Thunder kind of struggle more, and the Pistons keep up their pace. There are obviously some issues. I mean, it's a 1 point game. 3 point shooting was pretty bad. Everyone but Duncan Robinson, who 5 for 11, Tobias 3 for 8. Everyone else kind of sucked. And yeah, Ivy went 2 for 3, so can't really brag on him. Nag on him, I meant. Cade 0 for 4, Karis 0 for 4, Stewart 0 for 2. Just bad shooting nights for them. Cade, again, bad shooting night. Karis, get into that right after this. Stewart, both open. Tobias missing them open threes, but he hit 2 very clutch ones, so you can just rule those out, whatever he was the offensive starter night. Karis LeVert, I mean, 2 points, 1 for 6 from the field, 0 for 4. Only has 1 turnover, but the turnover was stupid. He was on like the right 3 point line, or the right corner, bit like more towards the hash mark, and just chucks it over his like cross-body pass to the left corner. And of course that's a turnover. Why are you making that pass? It's a stupid pass. It feels like every time Karis LeVert's on the floor, he'll have one good play, and then he'll have 2 bad plays. It's like it's a step forward, 2 steps back, and that's every time it's on the floor almost. Every once in a while he'll put 2, maybe 3 possessions together in one stretch. He won't have any bad, but then the next time he comes in, he'll be gone. He won't carry over in the whole game. Like it's possession, check-in by check-in. Like one check-in he could be great, one check-in he could be abysmal, and you have no idea what you're going to give Karis LeVert. And a player that inconsistent is dangerous. He's dangerous to runs. He's dangerous to just letting the other team get ahead, getting in his own head, getting the team's head. Like that's how runs are made for the other team, and that has happened many times this season. Luckily tonight, that didn't happen too much. Next game is Wednesday, an easier opponent. It's at New Orleans against the Pelicans. Should be a pretty good win. Pelicans obviously struggling. That was pretty much expected. It's the New Orleans Pelicans. They haven't really been relevant in the playoff hunt since Anthony Davis, and that was long ago. So hopefully the Pistons can get that win. I'd expect us to get that win. If they don't, I'd be heavily surprised. Even if Cade's out, I'd be heavily surprised to not get that win. So hopefully they can. Thank you.